What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. As always, if you enjoy this content, please support my channel in any way that you can. It would be greatly appreciated. Either like and subscribe or drop a comment down below with your favorite EDC rotation, okay? So without further ado, let's get right into the video. We're talking about streamlining your everyday carry rotation, okay? And what does that mean? Well, essentially it means you're simplifying it so that it becomes easier, it's more practical, and again, it's more simple for you to have compatibility amongst your everyday carried firearms. So I have basically come up with 5 criteria for streamlining your EDC. The first, with all of the criteria, it's all about compatibility, right? It's all about interchangeable things so that you don't have to have as much other extra accessories, things like holsters, magazines, all that stuff. So the first criteria when it comes to compatibility is going to be caliber. Okay, that's the most obvious one, and that's the biggest one, is you want to have the same caliber. So all 3 guns here are 9mm in this case. Okay, so having the same caliber is the first criteria. The second criteria is having the same magazines. Okay, so in this case, they may not, I guess, not necessarily the exact same, but you have magazine compatibility, right? So the Glock 45 magazine will go into the 19 as well as the 26, okay? The 19 will go into the 26. Anything larger than a 17-round magazine will go into all of these guns. So magazine compatibility is very important as well. Number 3, I would say, is holster compatibility, okay? Now, as the way I have these set up, they're not going to hold the same holsters as much. But if I take the light off of this gun, or if I put a light on this one, these two will take the same holsters. So that's why I like going with the 45 and the 19. Okay, the 26 is a little bit of its own little animal, but holster compatibility could be something you're looking for as well. And then number 4 is going to be interchangeable parts. Okay, so guide rods, springs, spare parts, whatever kind of things, simple things like slider releases or slide catches, magazine releases, all that kind of stuff, just things that you could interchange if you had to, okay? And then finally, number 5, and this might be one of the most important to me, is familiarity with the platform, okay? So in this case, these are all Glocks, so I know exactly how to handle this gun. Is pretty much the same way as this one, and pretty much the same way as this one. Aside from the size being different, they are all the same controls, okay? So that is very important as well, in my opinion. Okay, so let me just talk about this little rotation that I have here in front of you, and why I decided to go with something like this, or this is actually just an example, because I'll show you my personal EDC rotation here in a little bit. But in this case, this is a perfect example, in my opinion, of what, if you were to choose like 3 guns or even 2 guns, if you wanted to just get rid of this one, you could just have 2 guns or 3 that are going to do pretty much everything you need them to do, okay? Now, if you check out my other videos in the past, I have one on why you need at least 2 guns for everyday carry, and I still believe that's a good way to go. But there's nothing wrong with just having 1 gun for EDC. And if you're going to have 1 gun for EDC, my suggestion would be to get something along the lines of this. This is a Glock 19 Gen 4, okay? I would say getting something like this size, sort of what they call a compact frame size. I personally would call that kind of like a standard or mid-size pistol. That's kind of what I would go with if you were to try to get only 1. That's going to be very good for home defense. It's also going to be pretty good for EDC, for concealed carry and all that stuff. You could definitely go with just 1 gun if you really wanted to. However, if you're watching this video, you're probably a gun guy like me, and you concealed carry all the time, and so you like to have options. So let's go over the options, okay? What I did here is, first of all, you go with the smallest you can get in that platform. Okay, this is a Glock 26. This is actually my buddy's gun. I actually don't own my own Glock 26 yet, and I'm looking around for one. But he has this set up pretty nice. all of these guns, you're going to see they have night sights on them. I get rid of the Glock sights. But the smallest gun you can carry in that package, okay? So in this case, a Glock 26, very concealable, very reliable, still holds 10 rounds. And like I said, you can take the magazines from these ones and you can take the magazine from the larger ones and put them in the little guy, okay? So if you want to carry one spare magazine, you could carry a larger one and it would still work in this gun. But this gun is going to be really, really great for concealed carry, okay? In the middle size here, this is a gun that maybe I would say would be sort of my concealed carry whenever I'm able to carry it, right? And now a lot of you might say you can carry a Glock 19 all the time, all year round. And that's probably true. But there are times when it's easier to carry a bigger gun. And so in this case, you know, maybe this is what you carry in the fall, winter, and spring, and this is what you carry in the summertime, okay? Or if you're going, you know, with I guess, less of a outfit with less clothing, you'd carry the smaller one. But the Glock 19 would be perfect for really, you know, I would call that like, you know, when you want to be a little bit more serious about what you're carrying, in my opinion. So maybe to like somewhere where you're going to be in an area with a lot more people, maybe. And then the last gun is my personal favorite, actually, and that's the Glock 45. I EDC this gun whenever I can. When I say EDC, I guess I shouldn't say that because I don't everyday carry it. I mean, I concealed carry this gun when I can, depending on what outfit I'm wearing, depending on where I'm going and that kind of stuff. But this is going to be like a setup for home defense is what I would say. So you've got your, on this one I put my Streamlight TLR1 on there. I don't normally have on it, but just for the video, it shows you that you can put a nice big light on there for home defense. Sorry, I get my big fat fingers out of the way. But this gun's going to hold more rounds. It's a little easier to shoot in my opinion. Something like this would be great for home defense, okay? And so essentially that's what you have there. You have a home defense gun. You have I would say maybe this is like your primary carry gun. If you're able to carry this one, this is what you're going to carry. And then on days where you can't carry a gun quite that big, you'll carry the 26, or this could be a backup gun like police officers do. Or something I've done in the past is I'll carry like a small gun like the 26, okay, and then I'll have the 19 or even the 45 maybe in my vehicle if I'm driving somewhere on, you know, on a road trip or something. That'll stay in the console, and so you'll have, you know, sort of two guns to go with there. But yeah, the idea behind this is so that you can have the same holster compatibility. Like I said, these two guns will take the same holsters. They all have magazine compatibility to some extent, right? You can't put the 26 magazines in these guns, okay? But that's fine. If that's the case, then just carry a spare 17 round mag all the time, because the 17 round mag will go into anything, right? So you have the same magazine compatibility, same holsters in some cases. You have the same caliber, which is the most important thing. You can stock up on that one caliber, okay? And then, like I said, same, what's the word I'm looking for? Manual of arms, I think is what they call it. But basically the same controls. Now, you could go with, like I said, something else in a different platform. Doesn't have to be Glock. So let me show you real quick my personal EDC carry rotation. Okay, so here's my carry rotation. Now, many of you know I'm from Western Pennsylvania. I'm living in a very rural area, and so we deal with a lot more wild animals and stuff. Yes, bears, and I'm not so worried about bears all that much. But I did have a close encounter with one this past summer, actually, outside at nighttime, where I believe the bear was bluff charging me. I never actually saw it, but I heard it and could almost feel it. But I like to go with 10 millimeter, okay? And so I don't usually carry these just in the woods. I just make this part of my entire carry rotation, okay? So what I'll EDC usually is this Glock 29 Gen 5. I love this gun. I've got the Ameriglow ghost ring sights on there. Sorry, try to show you. You can see that in my other video. But I've got the Glock 29 for carry, okay? This is what I'll carry most of the time. And then my Glock 20 for home defense. Okay, and for home defense, I love this gun. It's got plenty of firepower, and so I like that better for home defense than I do the 9mm. And then for EDC, this, some people might think it's a little bit overkill, but like I said, if you would have if you'd have had the encounter with the bear that I had this past summer, I think you'd be carrying a 10mm as well. So I go with those two guns, and then this one kind of breaks the mold a little bit, right? This is the Ruger LCP Max. Okay, obviously it's not the same caliber, does not take any of the same magazines or anything like that, but this is just my gun that if I can't carry the 29 for whatever reason, then I will definitely be able to carry this. And to be honest, this gun is always in my EDC rotation, no matter what other guns I'm going to be carrying, because this is my go-to. Like I said, if I'm wearing something that I can't carry something else in, a good little pocket pistol is something that I think everybody should have. Okay. Now, one other option real quick, if you want to go old school, I only have one to show you here. This is my Smith & Wesson Model 19-2. This was made back in the 1960s, so I don't carry this gun. It's very sentimental to me. But you could carry a revolver like this in .357 Magnum, and then right here I don't have a gun to show you, but you could carry something like a Smith & Wesson Airweight or a Ruger LCR, something a pocket-sized 38 or .357 or some of those revolver, and that would be kind of the old school way of having EDC compatibility. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it. You can see that there. That is my 10mm kit carry rotation. Again, magazine compatibility, all that good stuff. And, you know, I think it's very important for us to streamline our EDC rotation so that, again, everything's all the same. And I know that sounds repetitive, because it is, but that's just because I'm not a very good public speaker. So without further ado, guys, let's finish up the video. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you carry every day. And as always, keep blasting.